What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Occasional Dilemma Gaming Podcast. We haven't done one of these in a while. I have got these guys on mute, but I got BudLit with me today, and I got Tech Gladiator with me today, and we're going to check in on them in just a second to see how they're doing. Hopefully they're doing good. This is one thing I'm going to have to fix is the black text over here. It should be white, but I'll fix that before we do another one of these, I promise, guys. Got a lot of topics to go over today, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's unmute our guest and meet our guest. We have, of course, Tech Gladiator and BudLit. Let's check in.
Yep. It's going pretty good so far.
That's good. See? Stick with what you know, man.
Yeah.
Let's start with, hey guys, how you guys doing?
Good. You're cutting into the Rubik's Cube. Fix it.
Yeah.
Guess I just slide over a little bit.
Yeah, just slide over a little bit.
But first off, we got Tech Gladiator. Say hi, Tech.
Do I have to?
Oh, well, yeah.
Hi, everybody. I don't even know. They can't even see me. I don't know why I'm waving.
Oh, they can see you just fine.
Hey, I see what's going on. Oh, okay.
Hey, there's Techie. I see Tech.
Oh, you thought I was going to play games while we were talking?
Oh, dude, this is the premiere of the dude. I got the perfect thing right.
I can't play games while we.
And here's BudLit. What's up, Bud?
Hold up. There it is. Here we go.
What's he doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, okay.
He's side chugging a Bud Light. Super excited, super enthusiastic, and
oh, it's giveaway time. I'm gonna enter, even though Stan will skip over me when my name is drawn. Or
Is it giveaway time?
It is giveaway time, guys.
I never won it yet, and I've been following for almost 4 years.
I'll turn this stuff off. There we go.
Well,
Yeah, if you didn't know, we are doing a giveaway during the podcast. This podcast, of course, airs every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully. We got some...
until we get tired of it.
Until we get tired of it, yeah.
So... now are you going to put our cams like in the corners, or how are you?
Stan, I feel like your body should be bigger to match that microphone. Otherwise, the microphone's pointed upwards. Like
it is, but it's a cartoon prop. Come on, it'll be all right.
Yeah, but will it be?
I feel like it hit the people more if me and Tech were in the corner. Know what I'm saying?
If we had green screens,
you got your own.
No. See, no. About the green screen. I'll get there eventually.
Right.
I used to have one, but it was like a green fabric that I just hung on the wall. I don't have a stand or anything for it. I need something I can put on a stand behind me now, since I'm not back.
Dude, I'm kind of excited for the topics tonight, especially the third one.
The third. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Big time.
But first, we're going to talk about this ninja thing. Yeah.
I just got an update on my phone, actually. He's like throwing shade at Twitch.
I don't blame him. We'll jump into it. Actually, here in just a second. Yes, Tech. You shaved.
Sorry, no beard.
Yeah, no.
No beard buddies this week. Maybe next week if it's not itchy as fluff next week. I shaved a different way. I like shaved really close. And usually when I do that, if it grows out longer, it doesn't itch me so much.
Right. Well, let's jump into the news that's happened this week. First of all, Ninja has left Twitch. He is now over at Mixer. I'm guessing Microsoft paid him quite handsomely to go over there exclusively with his content. Of course, Ninja, one of the biggest streamers on Twitch. And switching over to Mixer with all the free subs that they're giving away and stuff, he's amassed at like 1.5 million subscribers over there right now, as of right now.
Subscribers, like paid subscribers?
Yeah. Well, they gave
free.
They gave some free subscriptions away. for a limited time. But yeah, right now he's sitting at 1.5 million subscribers. And when I popped in on him the other day, he was sitting around 30 to 35,000 views. So it's not doing too bad, considering the platform Mixer hasn't really got off the ground yet. It's still a fairly new platform, but this could legitimize it and help legitimize it, and I'm sure that's what Microsoft is wanting it to do. If you guys didn't know, of course, Mixer used to be called Beam, and before that, I think that's where Hitbox went and came from and stuff like that. So if you remember Hitbox from ages ago.
Yeah,
so
I remember it. And it used to be something before it was Hitbox too. But I don't.
And now that they made headlines that they pulled one of the top Twitch guys back over to Mixer, they're already getting publicity. You know what I mean? So they got it all figured out. They definitely got it all figured out.
Definitely. So what do you guys think about... first of all, let's talk about the move, and then we'll talk about the events that happened today. Because there's some shit that happened today. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But first, let's talk about the move. I think good for Ninja. Wish him the best of luck. And hopefully this does legitimize a competing platform, because competition
this time
is always better, right? So, but you guys tell me what you guys think. We'll start with Tech.
What?
And Berms, thank you for the follow-up. Yeah, we're starting with you, Tech.
Okay, well, all right. So yeah, I actually followed Ninja, but only because he was doing stuff with Tim the Tatman for a bit there, and I've been following Tim the Tatman almost as long as I've been on Twitch and everything. So I always thought Tim the Tatman was pretty cool, even though I'm anti-tattoos, but Tim the Tatman's still cool. No offense to anybody who has tattoos. Stan, and I don't know, I think Bud has a tattoo or two. So I was following them and stuff. Not really my kind of stream, really sit and actually watch, but it's kind of cool, not as cool as say PewDiePie, but kind of cool, I guess. And so I don't blame him, if he's gonna get more money doing that, and hey, more power to him. If they offered him a big chunk of money, moolah, and promotions and all that stuff, hey, do what you got to do. It's not eventually at some point someone wasn't going to overtake him on Twitch at some point anyway,
Right. You mentioned the money, and I didn't bring that up, but apparently he had peaked at a massive amount of subscribers on Twitch, and he's still the top streamer on the platform, but it's nowhere near the insanity it was. It was kind of dying off, and I don't know if that's lost interest in Fortnite, if that's lost interest in him, or if it has more to do with Twitch and how they're handling some of their top streamers and stuff. But yeah, this move pretty much solidifies him, right? Let's say that Twitch, or that Mixer, excuse me, let's say Microsoft gave him, they didn't pay him money for exclusive content, but let's say they gave him some asset, some stock, some piece of the pie, if you will. Probably, because if Microsoft gives away 1% of their business, even if they give 0.9% of their business to freaking Ninja can retire, right? He doesn't have to worry ever again if he gets a small slither of a pie. So, I mean, I know 0.9% doesn't, right? I know 0.9% doesn't sound like a lot, but yeah, you know. Anyway, Bud, what do you get? What do you think?
He's gonna make more money over there.
He's way more.
The subscriptions are $7.99 as opposed to $4.99.
Right.
What percentage do you get of the? Do they get of the subscriptions?
So I didn't look that up, but I know it costs more to subscribe on Mixer. I feel like it's a good move because it's the same thing.
$7.99 is more than half of $4.99. So
and I get it, and I mean Mixer, Twitch is kind of the it would be the monopoly, right? As far as like streaming would go, right? I mean, everybody's like, oh yeah, you're a streamer, Twitch, obviously. I think this move is going to give Mixer publicity plus, and then once they see Ninja's success on it, I think more people are going to jump ship.
Well,
and start moving over. And after the big guys are done on Twitch, I feel like us little guys may rise up in the ranks a little bit. See what I'm saying? You see what I'm getting at?
I see what you're getting at. Yeah, I think one of the things is that you hope that it would help Mixer grow, not just for Ninja, but for the rest of the Mixer community. But that being said, PewDiePie has been doing live streams exclusively on DLive, and that really hasn't helped that platform outside of the name PewDiePie. I mean, PewDiePie's crew goes over there to watch him, but not really watch anybody else. So, does that make sense? Like, it's not really helped that platform. But maybe we could be wrong. But I do think that Twitch has got a big problem when it comes to treating their creators equally. And we can talk about the Alinity situation if you want to. If you guys didn't know, Alinity got in trouble for throwing her cat. And a lot of people are up in arms that, she wasn't suspended or anything. Nothing really happened to her.
How far and hard did she actually throw the cat? Because lots of people throw their cats. Like I throw my cats sometimes, because they're like, fucking cat.
Tech, you're an animal abuser.
Dude, do you really? Don't.
I mean, I would never throw my dog.
Well, no, I wouldn't throw my dog because it's a big dog. That'd be harder. Like, I can't pick my dog up and throw him. But,
You don't throw your cat. Surely not.
No, not most of the time.
Not most of the time. Listen at it.
Depends on how.
So,
it depends on how irritating they're being.
Well, apparently,
freaking cats that I never wanted in the first place.
Apparently,
I'm looking her up right now.
That I never wanted in the first place.
I didn't think it was that bad of a throw myself.
She's actually in some hot water over using racial slurs and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, she said the N-word the other day, according to chat here. So.
And then people wonder why I'm very careful when I stream, like with what I say and what's offensive. I don't want to offend anybody. I mean,
If Ninja gets 0.9% of Microsoft stock value, that's currently $676,800,000. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. There's no commas in there. $67 billion.
Is that for real? Like, or is he just kind of making that?
I think that number is a little bit.
I think that's a little high. But yeah, it's an absurd amount either way you look at it. But
right.
But no, from what I understand, she didn't throw the cat that bad. It was more like the cat was walking across the keyboard and she kind of scooped it and tossed it behind her, knowing that it would land on all fours behind her. But a lot of people get upset about that stuff.
A lot of people get upset about anything people, nowadays.
Take the cat and throw it up in the air and then drop kick it.
That's terrible, Tech.
I did that. I said some people.
No, Tech, I have a feeling you do that. You look like a cat beater.
No, I used to really love cats. I used to really love cats until I had 4 cats and 2 dogs.
I mean, it's just like kids, man. I mean, I love kids. I love kids, but dude, you get 10 of them around me. Oh my God, it's going to drive me insane.
5 kids. You realize how insane.
Listen, man. You should have wrapped that thing. Listen, man.
Most of the time.
Listen, man. Protection.
It broke a couple times. And then there was a couple times where we're like, I don't feel like putting it on. Let's just go.
See, now his name is Tex Feel. See, dude, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me you were a famous adult film star.
Wow, that's amazing. 10 of them deformed him then. That's going to deform
10 kids. Well, now, my papa, my grandma, my papa,
it wasn't just a lie. Airdash says Airdad says it wasn't just a light
like
toss.
17 kids, like my grandmother, like was one of 17 kids. You know,
and then you got to think like
better to do back in those days, though.
Yeah, but what did great grandma go through having those 17 children? Like I see what women go through now, and we have epidurals, we have all this technology. But damn, great grandma.
Yeah, my grandmother had 14 kids. My grandmother did.
See what I'm saying? That's incredible.
Man, they didn't have anything better to do back in those days.
Oh,
It has nothing to do with that. I'm talking about the pain of childbirth, man. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. When my son was born, I watched it.
Popping out babies on the boat over.
When my son was born, I watched it happen firsthand. Wow. You know, it's an amazing experience. Anybody who's about to have kids or whatever, if you're going to have kids, it is an emotional experience. But when you watch the child be born, that's about all I got to say about that. That face right there. It is so emotional. And like, you know, when women say they do go through a lot of pain, I can see why. Like, you're something to that, you know. I mean, it is just it's crazy. It is crazy.
But back to topic. Let's get back on topic. Let me reel you guys in real quick. We do see some disparity in the way Twitch treats its creators, especially at the top tier. We know that Twitch is giving some of their top tier creators more slaps on the wrist, more leeway. They don't get as in the severity of trouble. For example, Dr. Disrespect is already back on the platform after breaking the law at E3 in California for filming in a bathroom. And I love Dr. Disrespect. Glad he didn't get in huge trouble. Glad he got to come back. But at the same time, you know, how do you waiver what somebody else has done, whether they're doing racial slurs on the stream, throwing their cats, or whatever they're doing? There's got to be a way to treat everybody the same. Nothing happened to Alinity. So, you know, you can make the fair assessment that Dr. Disrespect did get suspended for filming in the bathroom. He was gone for a long time, and nothing happened to Alinity. Why didn't anything happen to Alinity?
Now, is that male versus female?
Right. Well,
would it come down to that? I mean, in the end,
I guess what I'm getting at is that it wouldn't matter if it was male or female. Like, you need to treat everybody the same.
Equally,
no matter what. I mean, if Alinity was in trouble or they found like she violated the TOS, she needs to be suspended or temporarily
punished in some
way. Right. Yeah. And that needs to go across the board. And what we're seeing is Twitch oftentimes doesn't distribute punishment for breaking TOS evenly across everybody. Like if me and you had thrown our cat, we would be banned from the platform completely and not be able to.
If I would have thrown my cat, nobody would have saw it. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
but you know what I'm saying, right?
I'm smarter than that.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I even watch what I say. I make sure that I don't say anything offensive, like that would, you know, about people's sexual beliefs. We'll go with that. Like, I make sure that I keep my lips shut about that because, you know, sometimes, you know, when you get killed or whatever, you know, you're going to say something that you don't want to say, right? So I watch my P's and Q's, you know, I mind what I'm saying. I mind what's going on back here. And if, like, my dog's back here and he does something that makes me mad, I try to ignore it. So that way, if I do slap him on the ass or whatever might happen, you know, PETA would be like, oh, no. Like, I don't want to cause any ruffles in the feathers. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need any trouble. Like, when I had my shirt off, I didn't know that violated TOS if you were a guy. But I did it. I mean, I didn't get suspended or anything.
Nipples. I mean, the best.
But here's the thing, like, if it's a woman streaming topless, it's going to be completely different than a guy. And if you want everything equal, I mean, you're gonna have to, you know, apply that to men as well, because then it would be inequality.
I agree with that, actually.
Because if I can stream without a shirt on, and I mean,
according to Twitch TOS, you can't. Supposedly they're supposed to do that equally, but they're giving some of the women more leeway because they make a lot of money off that. So
cleavage. Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. But they and also 99% of Twitch viewers are probably males. I mean, you get a topless woman out there. What's the difference between this and Pornhub campsite? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. Right. You got to cut the line somewhere.
Tech wants to jump in on this. Go ahead, Tech.
Well, actually, I want to backtrack to the punishment thing. I don't like the tech giants acting like our parents. I feel like in order to have a free voice and a free public medium to have lit people freely speak, I think that means you have to allow people to say and do things that you don't necessarily like or agree with. Because if you we don't like and agree with this, so we're not going to let you do that. What happens when they start adding more and more things that they don't like and agree with? When does it get to where you can't say anything at all because everything is offensive and oh no, I can't talk about picking my nose because that might offend somebody and they'll kick me off the platform.
Wow. Wow. That's all I got to say on that.
I gotta grab my vape. I'll be right back.
All right.
No.
You've gone insane. But yeah, look, I know we don't like being told what we can and cannot do, but it is Twitch's platform. Amazon's a private company that owns Twitch, and it's theirs to run and decide whatever happens. Just like YouTube is a private company owned by Google. And you can decide what content's on your platform and what's not.
YouTube's owned by Google, and Google is owned by Alphabet Corporation.
Well, either way, they can decide as a whole what can be and what should be on their platform and what shouldn't. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. Until we get some competing platforms out there that are owned by somebody else, we have to obey these terms of services. I mean, and the terms of services aren't just there to tell us what we can and cannot say, but also to protect us.
I don't know. It still irritates me. I mean, I get what you're saying, and you're not necessarily wrong. I don't like, and yeah, it would be good if there was competing platforms that maybe didn't have as strict terms of services and stuff like that to maybe people be see, if you would be more open and less we got to punish you all the time about stuff, then maybe your platform wouldn't be dying instead of theirs growing,
I see. Right. Amazon wants the family-friendly image as long as that's how they're perceived. They'll put up with some pretty shitty people doing some pretty shitty things, as Augur of Doom. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. So, I agree with that, Augur.
Welcome back, Bud.
Yeah, I quit smoking, man. I mean, what can I say?
Hey, we were talking about
more power to you.
Were you already vaping when we were talking about that before?
Yeah.
We don't know what the real effects of vaping will be, though. I mean, it could give you.
Yeah, but you know what? I have myself set in the mindset
it can't be worse than smoking.
When I bought this whole little setup right here, it was $127 with the juice and everything. But I figured 1 month without smoking, it'll pay for itself. So I'm only going to do this for 1 year. And then hopefully I broke the habit, because already when I wake up in the morning, I want to do this and not light up a cigarette. I should have listened to my parents when I was younger, when I started. And then they were like, yeah, it's the worst habit that you could ever pick up. It's not a habit. It's an addiction. Your mind just immediately says, hey,
right.
Man, I want to light this cigarette up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's rough. It's rough. Really rough. It's more addictive than heroin, because I work with ex-heroin addicts. People, and they were like, dude, when I got out of rehab, I didn't even think about heroin. I just wanted a cigarette. And it's like, what, really? And it's legal.
So, yep.
There you go.
Let's
get back on this ninja thing. Yeah, apparently some shit happened today, and what happened is apparently Twitch has been experimenting with they've been experimenting with only on Ninja's channel, which is weird. They were promoting some smaller streamers and other streams on his channel, and that was the idea apparently, according to Twitch support. Which
Really?
we'll talk about what they said here in a minute. But yeah, apparently in the process they ended up hosting or promoting a Fortnite stream that ended up being a porn, and it was the most watched thing on Twitch this morning. So people were watching porn on Twitch this morning, and Ninja has already said some stuff about that. Let me find the article here, and I will read it to you really quick. Really super quick, and get your guys' feedback on this. And let me go down here, and I want to put this in front of your guys' face real quick. So this is from PC Gamer. It says here, Ninja claimed that he was the only streamer whose offline page was being used to promote other popular channels, but Sheer denied this, saying that the platform was experimenting with showing recommended content across Twitch, including on the streamer's pages that were offline. However, the lewd content that appeared on the offline channel page grossly violates terms of service, and we permanently suspended the account in question, he said on Twitter. This has just been updated too. So on a more personal, I want to apologize directly to Ninja that this happened. It wasn't our intent, but it should not have happened. No excuses. And like I said, this just happened, broke out on Twitter an hour ago, right before we started the podcast. Matter of fact, the entire Twitter thread says our community comes to Twitch looking for live content to help sure that they find great content. Live channels, we've been experimenting with showing recommended content across Twitch, including on streamer pages that are offline. This helps all streamers as it creates new community connections. However, the lewd content that appeared on the @Ninja offline channel page grossly violates our terms of service. We permanently suspended the account in question. We've also suspended these recommendations while we investigate how this content came to be promoted. Just a thought. Like I said, I thought that maybe they were trying to, raise their stock up again by promoting one of the Twitch thoughts or something, and accidentally did some porn. And thoughts do play Fortnite too, so just saying. On a poor personal note, I apologize. Want to apologize directly to @Ninja that this happened. It wasn't my intent, but it should not have happened. No excuses. Back to the article. The original story. Tyler Ninja Belvins, who recently signed an exclusive streaming deal with Mixer, said he's disgusted with Twitch for promoting a pornographic stream on his now dormant channel. If you visit the Twitch page, you won't find his old broadcasts. Instead, you'll be presented with a list of popular live channels. This, he claims, hasn't happened to any other streamers, even ones that have left Twitch for a different platform. They advertise other channels on my channel. They don't do this for anyone else that's offline, by the way, just me. And there are also other streamers who have signed with their platforms whose channel still remains the same, he said in a video posted to Twitter. Here's the video below. I could play it, but we got the quote there. We don't have to see Mr. Blue Hair with Ligma. This is the line he said. This is the line he said. I'm trying to get the whole channel taken down to begin with, or at least not promote other streamers on my brand, on my freaking profile. So for anyone who saw that, I apologize and I'm sorry. In a follow-up tweet, he said, this wouldn't have even been an issue if they didn't use my channel to promote others in the first place. So a lot of people are wanting to know, why can't we choose what channels to promote? That way it doesn't spin out of control. Why is there no customization of this and things of that nature? But let's hear you guys weigh in on this. What do you guys think? Start with Bud this time.
They shouldn't use somebody else's channel to promote other people, especially one that is left, right?
Right.
Because it's out of his control at that point, and whatever's put on his channel is out of his control. But in the end, it's going to make him look bad. Twitch is using. I feel like they're using his publicity to try to grow other people, to keep people on Twitch, right? Am I wrong? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Right.
they're using him. And this whole thing, the whole shebang, because this was like a big deal. I mean, I never even heard of the guy. I'll be honest with you. Before he even left Twitch, I never even heard of the dude. But now that I've looked into it and stuff, but now that they're using him to grow other people, I don't think that's right, because that was his hard work that he put into his own streams to develop that following, to develep all of this. And now they're exploiting it because he left, and then they're promoting.
While I get what you're saying, at the same time, isn't Mixer doing the same thing? Like getting him to come over to the platform exclusively to grow their brand?
But they paid him money.
Twitch was paying him money.
In the end,
Twitch was paying him money.
But in the end, money talks.
Right.
Like, I mean, if you have somebody like LeBron on the Cavs, right? They offered him X amount of money. He ended up going elsewhere to the Lakers.
Right.
It's all about money. It's all about money.
I understand that, but Ninja was in a contract with Twitch at the same time. And like Augur says, when you sign up for a service, you don't own your account. You're using the service. And I get that too. So, but I still think it would be better to give him customizable options.
So so let's put it this way. I pay $4.99 a month to subscribe to you.
Right.
But let's just say, Tech out of the picture, because, you and Tech are friends. But if they used your channel and then I tuned into your stream and then it's somebody else streaming, I'm going to be like, what the hell's going on? Like, why would I want to watch somebody else off this channel if I followed or subscribed to this channel for this person?
And you're not talking about hosting, like where you're hosting.
Yeah, no, because when you host somebody, that's in your power. You choose who you're going to host.
True, right?
Like, they're just doing it just to do it because they can. Like, it's not right. I mean, I feel like it's not right at all.
And I understand what Augur's saying, like where technically you don't own your account, you're using it as a service. But we all have a reasonable expectation that Twitch isn't just going to go and start like putting other people's streams on our channels for willy-nilly. So on the one hand, though, I understand that it's Twitch's thing. They can technically do whatever they want. But on the other hand, it's like Bud said, it's if they do something like that, showing porn on the channel there, that's affecting Ninja's image, because some people may not know what all's going on. And they're like, what the heck is Ninja doing this or something? What's he doing?
See, like before all this happened, I didn't even know who Ninja was. Like if Stan would have told me like a day before, oh yeah, check out this dude's channel, I'm watching adult films on Twitch, I would have been like, well, I could have just opened up a new tab and opened up an adult film web, whatever, man. You know what I mean? But like, there's kids. Right. It's the kids. Like, majority of the people that are watching this stuff are probably under the age of 18, 17.
Especially Ninja.
Yeah. I mean, my demographics are a little different because I don't have a big following. But, I mean, somebody like Gold Glove, who I used to be good friends with, back when I was younger, or like, people who get like 3K viewers, 90% of them are probably under the age of 16, I'd say. I mean, not a lot of people are older watching streams because it's more of something that younger people do. And then they see something like that, and if you have the right set amount of parents or whatever, I mean, dude, it just looks bad. I mean, it really does. I mean, it just looks bad in the end.
While I hear you, does it not look worse, though, guys, on Twitch than it does on Ninja? Like, does it make... It looks way worse for the platform than it does for Ninja and his brand.
But still, his name is associated with it. You know what I mean? I know it looks bad on Twitch, but his name is still there. Like, it's tainted. You know what I mean? Like,
I would definitely put it more on Twitch. But again, I'm talking about like from an ignorant person's who doesn't really know what all they think like Ninja's still fully in control of his channel. They're like, what the heck is Ninja doing? I'm never lit. Oh no, you can't watch Ninja no more. He's doing because then they're like, what's he doing on the other channel? That he's
Why are we watching Bang Bus right now? Like, come on, he's supposed to be streaming.
That's true. And Augur brings up another point. He says that Ninja on Twitch is dead. Ninja on Mixer is a brand new product, and that's where the product is now. True. So
True.
It shouldn't
But
affect
his
him in any
name
way.
is still associated with his Twitch. Like,
It's
I mean,
more a hypothetical thing is too.
but still,
I'm not,
but
like,
still,
saying
in
that
the end,
they're really going to make him look bad. I mean, he
Cucumber.
could potentially,
but still, in the end, he had to put a video on his Twitter apologizing to the people for the adult or the pornographic images or whatever video that was on his. He shouldn't have had to do that.
That's true.
But he did.
Ninja does
he
get
did.
a lot of like his target demographic is probably 12-year-olds, to be honest.
There you go.
So
probably, yeah.
that is a PR nightmare. I understand on both accounts, and I think Twitch. I don't know. I wish there was a way to test stuff, not more live, like closed door testing stuff. You know what I mean? But we'll see.
What are you talking about?
Like
Testing. What are you getting ready to
if
test?
you're going to test something.
Oh, you're not talking about something you're getting ready to test.
No. I'm talking about like
Twitch.
If Twitch is going to test something, why don't they test it internally before trying to do it publicly, like a beta for themselves instead of like why was this?
Right.
Why?
And they could do that because there's ways for you yourself to test your stream without actually showing up as being live on your channel.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically an add-on to your stream to test out your bandwidth and how your CPU is running. So they could do that. Yeah, you're right. They absolutely, they could do like, say with a test audience, have a specific channel that you could have to have special access to get to maybe or something just to test it out or whatever. Yeah. I'm sure though that they probably didn't foresee that something like that was going to happen because I don't think they would have done that deliberately. I at least hope that they would.
Well, I hear you on that. I mean, they're having to get on people for breaking TOS all the time. Like the guy that was, what was it? You remember the guy
themselves for breaking their own.
You remember the guy that was? What was he doing? He was pretending like he was playing, and he got away with it there for a while. He was pretending like he was playing MMA, but he was watching an MMA pay-per-view. And he even had like an MMA overlay with the health bars and everything to make it look like the game, but he was actually watching the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
So, if people are going to go through that extreme, do you really trust the content creators? Like, check it out before you promote it like that, or whatever you got to do. Like, I know it's a test, but it seems like there should have been more safeguards, in my opinion, and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Augur, you're not wrong about that. Like, I mean, anything like that could happen. Like what the example he's talking about, Toys R Us there. So yeah, I mean, you're not wrong about that. And again, it's not so much that it would have probably really hurt Ninja. But although it is good, I think that Ninja, did that just in case to kind of preemptively, like, in case like any numbskulls went and like, oh, look what Ninja was doing this morning.
Even so, like, why didn't they promote trusted content from their partners before letting that trickle down to everybody else?
The random, yeah, they probably should have used like bigger streamers to test it with.
Yeah,
I mean, it's nice to see them.
Yeah, but
small streamers, it's about dang time Twitch. But this, you kind of blew it.
Yeah, but here's the thing with what you're saying about small streamers is there's always going to be small streamers. Like if me and Stan and you all blew up, so we're getting like 1,000 viewers per thing, there's always going to be that guy trying to get to the top. I mean, it's going to be a never-ending cycle. I mean, so why not promote the small guy who may come up with good content? Because I feel like my streams are pretty entertaining. I mean, I do a lot for the people, whatever. You subscribe to me, I'll shotgun a beer. I mean, I do some crazy shit. I mean, I try to be as much as I can. Stan, he produces awesome content. I mean, it was enough to get me, to follow for 4 years and then just like now that I make real money, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll subscribe to him. Here, I'll throw some biddies at him. You know, I mean, it's just
I
like,
love the smoke in the right place. Keep blowing. Keep blowing.
But I mean, no, but I'm being real. Like, I mean, I've seen some top tier streamers like that get like 300-400 viewers per stream that are less entertaining than you. At least you interact with chat. I mean, you do a lot of stuff. I mean, let's be realistic here. I know a lot of people that get like 400 views that don't even like read their chat. Like, people just watch them and they donate money to them. I mean, exactly. I do it for the viewers. I do it for the people that are watching me. Like, I want to make them happy. Like, if I can make their day, if they had a bad day, and if I'm streaming in the evening and then they watch me, they see something that I do that's hilarious. If I can make them smile, whatever. I mean, but that's what it's all about in the end of the day. I'm not trying to do this for a job. I'm just trying to do this for fun. I mean, you know, but if I could get the publicity, if I could ever make this a full-time job, you bet your ass that I totally would. I mean,
well, yeah, I think
yeah, but I mean, that's everybody's dream. But I mean, I get it. It's everybody's dream. But then you got to stick to your stream schedule. Like, you're working for yourself at that point. I mean, like, if you go out with your friends and you're hungover, like, you still got to wake up at this time and play this game. Like, you're forced to play a video game.
Job.
Exactly. Yeah. You're forced to play a video game for 3 to 4 hours, even if it's a game that you don't really like, but you're good at it. You're still forcing yourself to play that game.
And I think people.
That's where it'd be hard for me.
Yeah, and I think people who do it as a job have to probably put in more than 3 or 4 hours.
Exactly.
They probably got to do at least 8 or more hours.
You know, and I mean, you're talking. I mean, I know Gold Glove. I think, or you know, Minder. You know, because I'm a big DayZ guy. I love DayZ. He does a 12-hour stream once a week. I couldn't imagine sitting in front, just playing a game for 12 hours. I couldn't do it. Like, it doesn't sound like a long time. But I'm thinking, like, if I woke up at 6, got on at 7, I couldn't get off this game till 7 p.m. That's a long-ass day.
Yeah.
That's a long-ass...
Depends on how much you like the game. What if you're having to play a game?
I think 6 to 8 hours is more than enough for a full-time Twitch streamer.
For a streamer, yeah. Because, I mean, you got to think about it. Like, I know a lot of, like, more popular streamers, like, when I look at their donation thing at the bottom, like, each day, you know... If they get like $220, that's more than what I take home in a day. And I work a normal job and I work a union job. You know, I have a really good job, but that's more than what I take home in a day. Granted, they got to pay taxes on that and stuff. But still, you know, you do that 6 days a week. I mean, it adds up. I don't know. I'm just talking out my ass at this point, but I mean, I'm just saying it would be hard to like force myself to play a game. And I love Gears of War, but if I play it for more than 3 hours, I get burnt out on it real quick. You know, that's all I'm saying is that it's a good job. It's a dream job everybody wants, because then they're like, oh, all I got to do is get on my computer and log on and play this game. But I mean, it's kind of a pain in the ass at the same time.
When does it become like to the point where like, well, I used to love playing this game until it became my job.
Exactly. Like, I mean, I love Gears of War. I mean, I could play Gears of War till fucking, you know, the end of time. But if I'm forced to do it,
I wish I could have got paid to play Call of Duty all day. I don't want to do that. I don't want to play Call of Duty all day now.
Exactly. Like, I mean, it sounds good, and you know, it sounds good until it's actually your job, and then you have to do it. Like, if you do it for fun, it's always going to be fun. Like,
right.
I watch you and Stan play Assassin's Creed. I know you guys are having fun while you're doing it. But if you were forced to do it, and then you're like, fuck, I got to play Assassin's Creed again. I'm on the DLC for the 10th time. It would probably get really old really fast. Just like people who do speedruns of games. Like, I follow this channel on Twitch that does speedruns of games. That's all they do. How can you just constantly just do speedruns all the time? Like, I'm playing Super Mario Brothers 3 for the 10th time just to see if I can beat 2 hours and 10 minutes. You know, and let's make it 2 hours and 9 minutes and 37 seconds. Like, come on.
Right.
Let's be realistic. Any job is going to be a pain in the ass. Every job is going to be a pain in the ass.
Once it starts becoming about your supporting yourself, doing it and everything, and there's more stress involved because you have to make money doing it.
And if you have a family, on top of that, you throw kids into the mix, you're like, well, what can I do to get donations today so that way I can feed my child or feed my wife and feed.
Right.
It's probably going to become a pain in the ass over the.
All right, let me rein you guys in a little bit. Sorry to do so. We need to move on to our.
You haven't talked in a while either.
We need to move on to our next story, guys. So we're going to do that now. Our next story comes from, this article actually comes from The Verge. I actually picked up on this story from watching Inside Gaming Daily, and they were pretty split down the middle on this. What happened was apparently a YouTuber had some people come to his house, some private investigators and stuff come to his house, and on behalf of 2K Games. Why? Was he under investigation? Well, because he has been posting leaks, very accurate leaks about Borderlands 3, and it's easy to say, well, he's a super fan, why can't you post leaks? Well, apparently he manipulated Twitch, according to 2K, and Twitch in such a way that he had access to private streams that was between the developers, and was taking that and sharing what he knew from compiling information from the thumbnails and stuff, and he didn't have an invitation to these private streams, so he kind of broke into the private streams and was. Let's read the article. Let's just read the article. This is pretty good. Video game publishers Take-Two Interactive and 2K Games have responded to allegations from a popular YouTube creator, Supmato, who claimed he was unfairly and excessively targeted by the companies after he posted a series of videos including leaked content from the upcoming game Borderlands 3. Quote, Take-Two and 2K take the security and confidentiality of trade secrets very seriously, a 2K representative told The Verge. The action we've taken is a result of a 10-month investigation in history of this creator profiting from breaking our policies, leaking confidential information about our product, and infringing on our copyrights. 2K is a subsidiary of Take-Two, and it handles publishing for Gearbox's Software's Borderlands series. Although this is coming up now, the situation began in April, according to a detailed testimony of events from Supmato, who is not disclosing his real name. A trailer for a Twitch extension called EchoCast that could be used in Borderlands 3 included information for a private Twitch account that was being used to test a feature with integration with Twitch. So they were actually developing the game and seeing with the interaction for Twitch and seeing how it worked. And that's what the test streams were supposed to be for. The exposed accounts were discovered by Supmato, he pointed out, but were posted to forum sites like Reddit. Although the channel's content wasn't viewable, thumbnails were. Supmato, who covers Borderlands quite a bit on his channel, used the thumbnails to make videos about Borderlands 3. Since the thumbnails were on Twitch, Supmato believed that they were public domain, but he then received several copyright strikes from 2K. And YouTube's current copyright policy state that the visual works such as paintings, posters, and advertisements all constitute copyrighted content. The copyright claims came after the two private investigators, who he says were hired by Take-Two, allegedly came to Supmato's house on July 25th to discuss various things relating to my channel and the live streams that was discussed on his channel. 2K representative declined to comment on whether the private investigators contracted by its parent company were indeed sent to Supmato's house. Instead, the representative told The Verge that the company will take necessary actions to defend against leaks and infringement of intellectual property and not potentially impact our business and partners. I'm sure this is a situation where the devs were like, we want you to, share the stuff that we've leaked to the public, but you're talking about features that we haven't talked about yet and that are still in development, still testing. This isn't cool. This kind of leak is not cool. And that's kind of what happened. And he shouldn't have had access. Twitch, for one, shouldn't have posted the thumbnails. Two, he shouldn't have had access to those thumbnails to make assumptions off of, or make the leaks. And 3, thank you for the cheer, bud. Appreciate it. And he probably shouldn't have. Probably shouldn't have made videos on it. But I get it. He was super excited. It was an accidental thing, an accidental infringement of copyright. What do you guys think? How hard should people go on this guy?
Pretty hard. I mean, that's like spoiling the end of a movie, right?
1,000 cheer from Augur of Doom. Appreciate it, man.
It's hard to say. I mean, probably technically they probably should do what they're doing. But I'm always kind of like okay, he got a little overzealous. He reported this. He shouldn't have done it.
Right.
I just, it's like,
I think that if he had this information, like true journalism, like people who break the stories and stuff, they contact their sources. You know what I mean? They would have let's say IGN, for example, was doing a story on these leaks. Before they leaked out the information, they probably would have contacted 2K. Hey, is it okay for us to talk about this since we know this? Is there an embargo? Would it break the embargo if we posted this? Blah, blah, blah. And I think that in a way, even though we're small, even though YouTubers are smaller, if they have information, maybe he could have contacted 2K and asked them. But then again, what's the likelihood he gets a response, So,
it's kind of tough. I mean,
yeah.
I never like it when a big corporation comes after a small guy. I mean, technically, yeah, he probably wasn't supposed to be doing that. So, I mean, it's not like they're not within their rights. But again, it's like a big corporation, small YouTuber, Well, I don't really actually know how big or small he was. I'm imagining he's not like millions of subscribers. So it's like, how much is he really getting out of it,
Well, see, but Augur just made a good point. He wasn't under any of kind of non-disclosure.
That is true, but I've got something else to go into this. And what that is...
Yeah, that's a good point, Augur, actually.
I only finished the first part of the story from The Verge. Technically, what he was doing was kind of illegal, kind of in that correct, because... And hear me out. What he actually did, guys, is he on YouTube. You know how we have subscribe here on Twitch. Well, on YouTube they have a join button, which is kind of like subscription. And if you join, he put that if you join him, he would give you access to his Discord with all the leaked information. All of the leaked information.
That is exploitation.
That is exploitation.
So he was basically profiting off of information that he received illegally.
Right.
So, ooh, dang, that's kind of hard to defend him on that. Yeah.
See, now that's exploitation.
I still kind of want to stick up for him, even though he's probably doing right or wrong and everything. But like, he's probably like there was no way, and I'm sure he knew that he wasn't gonna like make millions or anything like this, get super rich off of it and everything.
Right.
It's just that kind of tough thing. Okay, like maybe do something like maybe suspend him temporarily from YouTube or something like that. I mean, he probably should get something, but I'm hoping
monetizes videos.
Hoping he doesn't get drug into court or something, or turns into some big legal battle for him, because he's going to lose that. He doesn't have a chance against a big company,
right? But from what I understand, he is taking down the videos he had, or some of the videos. He's taken down the Discord server. He's took away the description that says if you join, blah blah blah. And he's taking a break from YouTube for a while, which I guess is
that's kind of just like killing somebody and then just being like, oh man, I'm sorry. Like here, I'll try to take it away. I'll try to.
I don't think.
I know it's not okay, but I mean, just for the concept, like you do wrong,
Right.
you can't just like push it under.
You stole.
You
Something.
you still exploited something for your own benefit. Like you
Taking
can't
a break to his knees because
yeah, hit him with a sledgehammer to the shins. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm kind of in the middle on this because like
you should never leak information, like especially if you know something. Like it's like that game Telephone. Like
on the one hand,
yeah, I mean, come on.
let's say he is Uber Gamer, like he shouldn't have put that behind a paywall. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I think he kind of.
And I think that was the line that was being broken. Instead of distributing it freely, you put it behind a paywall. But another thing is that you definitely don't put that stuff behind a paywall, but also check and make sure it's okay just to keep on good terms and not get blacklisted from the source. Just check, make sure it's okay with the company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, I came across this. Is it okay?
Because some companies, you do stuff like that, and a lot of times they'll be good to you over that. They'll be like, well,
you can't talk about this or this, but we'll give you something.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like if the coalition leaks some information about Gears of War to me, and then I'm just like, well, if you follow my Discord, I'll give you everything that's going to be in the next Gears 5. Like, I mean, I couldn't do that. Like, I literally couldn't do that. Like, because it's ruining. It's spoiling.
Any chance of have a future relationship with them.
Exactly. I mean, it would ruin, your relationship with the devs. It would ruin a lot of things. Like, I mean, you got to weigh your options. Like, obviously, he thought that he could exploit what he had for his own benefit, and it kind of like backfired on him, I guess. I mean, that's up to him, though. I mean, everybody's gonna live their own life. Everybody's opinion. Like half the viewers right now could be like, "Oh no, ItsBudLit is just talking some." He's just talking out his ass, or someone could be like, well, yeah, he's got a point. I mean, you can only, I mean, it's just, I don't know. That, should the hammer of God, like, come down on him and, like, ruin everything?
I don't think so.
No.
Not at all.
No.
But
he gets something.
He should.
Some sort of repercussion.
Yeah.
Probably, yes. Yeah.
Maybe pay a fine out of pay the what he earned,
affordable
what he earned, pay it back as a fine.
Demonetize those videos, and whatever in a revenue that he acquired from that, take that back or whatever, send it to the developers. Yeah. They can put it towards the game. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is at that point. I mean, I would never do something like that, but I mean, that's just me standing here, but I'm not in the same position that he's in. So what would you do, Tech?
I agree. No, I'm on the same page as you.
Do you concur? Do you concur? Are we gonna pull a catch me if you can? I concur.
I concur. You concur? I concur. Yeah.
I concur. Should stitch him up real quick.
Yeah, I think probably what they should have done is, took what he made off the paywall, make him pay it back in a fine of some sort, make him take down the videos.
Just not let him profit off of it.
And maybe suspend the account for a certain amount of time. Not
lose
the account entirely.
30 days.
Yeah, 30 days suspension of some sort. But yeah.
That way he learns his lesson. He's not completely shut down. His life isn't ruined.
Right.
But he'll never do it again because he'll be like,
well, it's a learning experience too. Like, he's not a true journalist, but maybe he wanting to get into that field or something. This is a thing that you learn as you go along. You didn't know it was wrong. Now you do.
Right, exactly.
So, all right, guys. But don't put that stuff behind a paywall. Let's talk about, unfortunately, there were some terrible shootings that happened last week in
my home state, Dayton.
In Ohio and in New Mexico.
I thought it was
No,
Texas.
Texas.
Oh, sorry,
El Paso.
Texas. El Paso. My bad. It was El Paso and Dayton. Sorry.
It's close. I mean, it's close enough to New Mexico.
But
yeah.
And it's bad enough that we have these tragedies, but then to ignore the actual problem that causes the tragedies, we have politicians creating a talking point and a scapegoat so that they don't have to actually tackle an issue. And it started off with President Trump, and then it went to several Fox News anchorists and Fox Republican politicians that blame video games for the mass shootings. You've had quotes from many people on Fox News saying, you could see how blowing somebody's head off in a game and comparing it to, despite studies and studies that preach the other way.
Should be a mass murderer got there shooting everybody up then.
Right. But, yeah, so...
I can't wait to chime in on this one. This one's going to be a good one. Because, there's so many variables that come with, screwed up people.
I can play these clips for you.
Feel, Maria?
Here's this one.
Just terrible. Jeff, thank you. We are following these senseless tragedies, and now for more, I want to bring in House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Congressman, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Look at this handsome devil.
I wish we were joining you on a different circumstances. This nation mourns for just a very sad day. No one in this country
She's the type of lady
should
that's
fear
like, can I
going
speak to your
shopping
manager?
or out on a Saturday night. These monsters that did this based upon evil. We need to get the facts, but we need to make sure we do not allow this ever to happen again.
Yeah, we are waiting on the facts, and of course we're waiting on any motive or information of what was behind these tragedies. What do you want to say in terms of to the public, in terms of coming together, in terms of hoping that this doesn't happen again? Is this a mental issue? Is it something else? What can you say?
Well, whatever their intentions were, we know it was based on hate and evil. The planning of what took place, the actions of where they went. I know today is a day that millions of Americans will go out to their place of worship, that we will lift up those families who are mourning, we'll lift up their losses. We will thank the first responders.
6 minutes.
Look at their ability to respond. And
anyway, we know what they're going to say. They're going to
minute they would
right.
an individual that had his own armor on and others. I think it is responsible.
But here's the thing,
politician enforcement to do their job. But when the job is done, we should come together as one and find areas and ways that we can make sure that this does not happen again. But this is a sad day for this nation, and I know all will mourn together, but we will find how we solve this problem once we get all the information.
We heard from the deputy governor of Texas earlier, and he was talking. It was a very impassioned conversation, really. And he was talking if triggered and that using, videos of
we're gonna stop everybody
with these weapons
from drinking beer
is there
and have a prohibition.
A conversation to be had about the tone that this country is using? It's become commonplace to say whatever you want to anybody on social media.
I think we should, and you want to see from these individuals what they wrote and others, but this may be a place that we could find this ahead of time. There may be a place of what's being written can be changed, could be an indication that an individual needs help and others that we can stop. But the idea of these video games to dehumanize individuals, to have a game of shooting individuals and others, I've always felt that is a problem for future generations and others.
He's always felt this is a problem.
Studies shown before of what it does to individuals.
What studies?
When you look at these
we have
photos,
studies.
Exactly.
We have studies that always say the opposite. That video games don't do that.
It's all Pong's fault. It started in the 1970s. And
It's all pinball, wizard.
Pinball wizard, yeah. It's like the downfall of human civilization.
I mean,
again,
like,
but
dude, see, like, that's the thing. Like, politicians are always going to take it and put it on something that's, like, totally misconstrued. Like, they blame guns for gun violence. They blame video games for violence. But, I mean, in the end, there's a person behind that trigger. And what's going on in their brain, it's all about mental health. And people overlook mental health in this country like it's some sort of joke. Like, if you have a broken arm, you go to the doctor. But if something's wrong in your head, they don't go to the doctor. Like, they just live with it. And then it just, like, builds and builds and builds. Like, this is a big topic for me because I'm a big Second Amendment guy. I mean, I'm a gun owner myself. And, like, I've played Grand Theft Auto. I've played Gears of War. I've played every violent game since I was 10 years old. But when I go to the gun range, I don't just go, man, dude, I can pull a Trevor right now and just go in rage mode with my AR and just boom, 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 boom. I don't think that way. Like, there's something going on in somebody's head. You can't blame it on video games because, I mean, he wasn't like, I mean, it's just like, God, I don't. People overlook like the major issue, which is mental health. There's not enough mental health backgrounds for people to own weapons.
I agree.
There's so many people,
especially weapons that can cause major damage. I mean, they say assault weapons and stuff, but we all know an AR-15 is semi-automatic. It's not the military. It's a military style rifle, but it's not a military rifle. It doesn't matter if it's fully automatic or not. It doesn't matter. There's always somebody behind the trigger with the motive that, hey, I'm going to do this. Bullying in school. Maybe we should take more of a look into that and punish bullies harder than they do, because a lot of the school shootings are people that are bullied and are people that are beat down every day until they reach a breaking point to where I'm going to have
what else to do.
Exactly. How do I end the pain and suffering that I'm going through? I'm going to be in complete power when somebody's looking down the barrel of this gun. Like that, I think that is like the biggest motive. I think mental health needs to be in check more than what it is now, because mental health is a huge thing in the human race. I mean, people are very powerful, especially with weapons in their hands. It doesn't matter if the dude had a machete. It doesn't matter if they can cause damage, right? Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think there needs to be more mental health background checks, but you can't blame it on video games. Like, I played Grand Theft Auto, and that can be a very violent game. But, I mean...
blame things on comic books back in the 50s.
The 50s.
Back in the 50s, they would be like, comics lead to degeneracy. Like, that's why the Comics Code Authority was created in the 50s. A lot of comic book companies went out of business in the 50s. They just find new things, whatever the kids are doing now.
But in a way, what Tech's getting at, and I get it, he's right, is, you know, at one time it was books. At one time it was comic books. Yep. At one time it was TV. At one time it was our kids' cartoons. Now it's movies or video games. Yeah,
but I mean,
whatever the media that's popular at the time is what's going to get blamed. And I don't think I agree with you, Budlit, that it is a mental health problem. Mental health is one of the things that we extremely ignore, but I don't think that's the only problem. I also think that the breakdown of the U.S. home with husbands and wives not staying together and
exactly
a parent, a kid having to live with one parent or the other. Bullying is a big problem.
It all construes to mental health because that takes a toll on you mentally. I grew up in a divorced home.
I am all for, and I get that, but I also firmly believe that a lot of these kids that are getting a hold of the guns, that's on the parents. All right, I'm all for owning a gun. I'm all for your right to bear an arm. Like, it is. Why is that gun in a place where the kid has access to it? Why is it not in a gun safe with a combination not known?
Are they always getting the guns from their parents? So is what I'm getting at.
Most of the time.
There's ways to get, if you want a gun, there's ways for you to get
but then we're going to go to the fact that, you know, purchases, whatever, gun shows, what, yada, 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 gun show. But, I mean, trying to stay out of...
I'm not even talking about gun shows. I'm talking about, like, back alleys, people's trunks and stuff.
Well, here's another thing. If you see that your kid might have a mental problem, and might find a way. I said, if you find out that your kid, if you think that your kid might have a mental problem and might be able to get into a gun safe to get your gun, would you keep that gun in the house?
Yes, I would. I would change the code. I would definitely change the code.
How would you
for the
tackle
gun
that?
safe.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, us as Americans need to be educated on how to recognize mental illness quicker, so that we can get quicker help as well.
But in the same token, let's put it this way: like, I was diagnosed with ADHD, whatever, when I was like 10 years old.
Yeah,
so
they
forced this Ritalin down my throat for like 10 years. And then when I graduated high school, you know, they were like, well, you can continue to take this. But when you look at what Concerta and like Ritalin is, it's like legal methamphetamine. Like, it keeps your mind like moving so that way you can focus, right? So I was forced drugs down my throat throughout my whole school, you know, my whole tenure in school. I mean, it's a wishy-washy thing, because like, I don't think I had a disorder, but some doctor did.
Or maybe the teacher did, because they didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah, because, you know, maybe I was a class clown. I mean, I was kind of a jackass when I was in school, you know. I mean,
you get teachers complaining about the kids just because the kid's a little excitable, and
so what? I stood on.
I don't want to deal with this.
So what? I took a dump on the teacher's desk. Big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, oh, he's got a problem, but. Like, I mean,
for real. You got
like,
you have a problem. I'm sorry.
No, but I mean, like, for real, like medication is like the first thing like they're throwing at you, when like half the kids probably don't even have a problem. They're just being kids. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't have mass shootings like this back in the 50s and the 60s, you know, way back when. It's all now to where it's all just.
Well, maybe
becoming an issue.
We didn't over medicate our kids either, so
yeah, exactly.
At your schools, like, just like, you know, in the 30s, like the mobsters might mass shoot somebody at a restaurant or something.
Yeah, but that's different. That's crime. I mean, that's crime at the end of the day. But like the big deal I'm trying to push is like people overlook problems with their children. Just, oh yeah, that's mommy's little angel. He's okay, but he's drawing pictures of like him stabbing his teacher or whatever. Like, dude, that's not normal, and you can't blame that on Grand Theft Auto, because like, if you're trying to blame somebody's motive on a video game, which like, if in the note that he said, I'm going to shoot up this place just because Trevor did in Grand Theft Auto, and I wanted to recreate this, then I understand it. But you can't blame violence. I have a controller, like, you know, I have this in my hand. I can live fantasies, you know, through my Xbox, you know, and live a different life that I can't in real life.
And like, again, that's another responsibility that I pass off to the parent, because video games are rated just like movies. So if you don't think your kid can handle it,
rated, yeah.
Why are you buying the kid the game? Because they can't buy it on their own, they get carded.
Exactly. So. I mean, in the end, that's what it is. It all comes down on parenting. Discipline for new kids nowadays is, you can't even put your hands on a kid now without being an abuser. You can't discipline your kids like you used to be able to. And I have a 3-month-old, and I'll be damned if he's going to turn out like some of the people that I see on Dr. Phil. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, I mean, for real, like the Catch Me Outside girl, yeah. Like if I see a 13-year-old girl slap her mom, like, that's going to piss me off, and I'm not even like related to them. Like, that's just disrespect. You know, I got the belt when I was growing up. I got Hot Wheel tracks. I got the wooden spoon and boiling water. Like, I guess that's why I turned out normal. I guess I don't know. I mean, as normal as I can be, slamming Bud Lights on streams.
I kind of think corporal punishment. I mean, I'm not saying abuse your kids, but you know, corporal punishment.
Teachers used to be able to paddle the students.
Right.
Should that come back? You guys went through it. Should it come back?
Here's the thing too, is a lot of people say like, oh, you got to reason with your child and everything, explain to them and everything. Have you ever tried to reason with a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old? One question just inevitably leads to another and another.
Exactly.
And another. It's like, how long do you have until they make it out in the middle of the street and get run over by that truck before you're done explaining it to them?
That truck is going to hurt you. Are you going to chase headlights for the longest time before you learn your lesson? Like, my mom let me touch the hot stove, but I never touched a hot stove after that. And
Right.
it scarred me to this day. When I'm cooking in the oven, I make sure that I don't touch anything that's metal because it's going to be hot.
Pain is a quick and easy way for somebody to learn. And it's also scientifically proven that the human brain's ability to fully reason isn't fully developed until they're in their 20s. So it's like, how are you going to reason with a child who hasn't even fully developed the capability of reasoning?
It's not an overcomplicated process like Stan was saying. It's more of parenting and discipline in America. Like, you need to know right from wrong. Like, you cannot let your kid grow up thinking wrong is right, and then they can just pull something like that, and then there it is. I mean, then you have a school shooting or whatever.
Tailcar's right in a way. He says what you guys are saying would not have stopped either of those shootings.
Yeah,
I don't know that that's right. I'm thinking if the structured family was still around today, and if you
grew up,
we treated mental illness quicker.
If the kid grew up knowing right from wrong and discipline, he would know that, hey, when I shoot these people. He would know better. He would be like, I can't cause that kind of damage to other people. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, though, too, is like, you can raise your kid as good as possible. Some people are still going to grow up and turn out to be bad, evil people.
That's true.
That's true. They're raised. There's always going to be evil people. And they're talking
I'm not saying that.
They're talking. Wait. Hear me out. I've got this point. They're talking about, like, how do we stop this from ever happening again? I don't think you can. They're like, oh, let's do this. No. You can't stop. It's happening.
Exactly.
And it will happen again. And no matter
of course,
how much you try to regulate something to death, you can't stop things like this from happening. You can't stop somebody else from going and
like you exactly
said. My point, because what I was getting at is Hitler didn't play video games. Probably the biggest mass murderer in history.
Stalin murdered.
Yeah, Joseph Stalin murdered.
Well, he didn't play video games either. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but you know what? But it's in the brain. Like, everybody's got their own brain, and everybody, they have their own ideas. Like, in the end, you're not going to be able to stop every mass shooting. I don't care if you ban every gun in America, because as Tex said, you can go to a back alley.
Cause it to happen more.
As Tex said, you can go to a back alley and you can obtain a firearm illegally. They make this big deal, like, oh yeah, like the Dayton shooting for you. This is in my home state, so I mean, it kind of hit close to home. But they were like, oh yeah, he obtained this firearm over the internet. But they also said he had to get the background check through his FFL, through his local gun shop. So it's not like he obtained it illegally, but they made it sound like he obtained it just through the internet, like he bought it off eBay and it got shipped right to his door.
They make it sound like it's so easy that
when it's not, because you have to go through the same process. Like, I don't know. I'm a big gun guy. I mean, I like my guns.
The media spins things in a way to try to make, because the news media, they're always trying to scare you to death. They want you to be terrified of the tornado and the hurricane coming, like it's the end of the freaking world. You're gonna.
Why do you think I don't have cable, bro? Why do you think I don't have cable? Why do you think I just watch Twitch on my free time? Okay,
right.
Stan, don't throw no propaganda in my ear.
Yeah, we get all the propaganda from Stando that we need.
All right, let's throw this into the mix. Reggie Fils-Aimé responds to recent claims that video games cause mass shootings in a tweet. Reggie says, "When the ill-informed," let's see if we can get this tweet bigger. Nope.
Control plus. Control plus.
There we go. When the ill-informed are being critical of gaming industry and community, this is a very powerful story. The facts are that countries with high per capita gaming revenue have fewer gun shooting deaths, except the U.S., where 4% of the population own 43% of the guns. And he is talking about guns. And if you look at this chart, it's kind of true. South Korea, probably the biggest buyer of video games. Hardly any violent gun deaths a year. Same in China. USA, of course, the huge outlier here. We're the third when it comes to buying video game revenue. And our violent gun death is it's way up.
But
and look at United Kingdom, fourth, hardly any violent gun deaths. But of course, there's no guns in these countries. Canada.
Here's another thing, though. Like, we talked a lot about this violent gun deaths and everything in the United States, but where does most of it happen? Like, there are certain areas, certain like more heavily populated areas in the United States that kind of blow certain things out of proportion to like
Chicago,
the rest of the country.
Well,
Chicago, which
yeah,
has the strictest gun laws in the country.
Yeah, that is true.
But you gotta remember, dude. This is all gonna come back to. It's making us look bad because they're more prevalent, but we have a lot of gang members, we have a lot of gangbangers, we have a lot of gun violence that doesn't construe like just from like normal shootings. Like I'm sure in that study they're considering gang members that shoot each other as well. Like
which
people
were
that
doing
are
that before video games were
exactly.
And I get that, and I think it should. I think the study is showing not just gun violence, but we do have a mass shooting problem, and that's what we need to address is the mass shooting problem first. I mean, yes, there is a lot of gun violence in the States, in places like Chicago and in places like Detroit, and but they're not mass shootings. Mass shootings, you can't pinpoint those to one location. They're happening all over the damn place at random times. So, got one in Texas, one in Ohio. We're not safe, everybody says, oh, it won't happen in my town until it does, So.
Right.
I don't know.
But, okay. So what do you think a solution would be for that, Stan?
What do I think? Again, we've already talked about my solution for this. I think we go back to keeping families together, teaching right from wrong.
You can't do that.
I know. You can't enforce it, but
you can't control everybody is the thing. You can't control.
But you can do stuff like, okay, why are families breaking up? Well, because a single mom has an easier time of raising a child alone than with the husband in the house because she makes less money. She gets extra entitlements and benefits.
This is going to actually
when she's married. I mean,
this is going to actually like strike home to me because you guys know my recent situation,
right?
But now she gets all these government benefits, and now I still have to pay child support on top of that. So now she's making out better than when she was with me originally.
Yeah. So
you see what I'm saying? I mean, I agree with you, but at the same time, I don't think like the solution for politicians, especially on the left wing side, would be ban all weapons. But there's always going to be bad people with guns. I mean,
right.
as well.
And I'm not saying I'm smart enough to come up with a solution because I'm not. I'm not smart enough to come up with a solution, but. We got a problem, and I do know I am smart enough to say, hey, we got a problem. Maybe we should investigate why we have such a big problem.
I totally agree. I totally agree because, like, if we would nip it in the ass before it could even. Okay, Tech. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What happens when the bad people with the guns is our own government?
Again,
that's all I wanted to say.
Again, I'm not saying that I know the solution or how to fix the problem. What I'm saying is that I'm smart enough to know that we have a problem and look and try to investigate on how to fix it. And I don't think that we do that by creating a talking point and blaming violent video games for our problems. Because clearly the video game is not the problem. There's something else wrong, whether it be too many guns in the country, the easy access to the guns, it's too accessible. Something is the problem, whether it be mental illness, whether it be a breakdown of the home, whether it be any of these things. And I don't think it's just one thing. I think it's a combination of things.
Tech is over here throwing facts, like Terminator 2. Terminator 2, let's just quote it. Arnold Schwarzenegger said himself, it is in your nature to destroy yourselves, which is true. Because in the end, what does America do? They start wars. What do countries do? They start wars just to destroy each other, just to see who's got more power and who I mean, come on, let's be realistic here. Politics, I feel, are behind 99% of everything. Am I wrong? Am I wrong when I say that?
No, we're agreeing with you.
No, I agree.
I mean, because we will fight a war with Germany. Granted, Hitler was a dirty person. I mean, he did some nasty things. Japan was doing nasty things. I get it, but how many people died in the process of that? How many people die in the process of what we believe is right and what they think is right?
Not only that, but in our current political climate, you have two extremes that are spouting horrible propaganda at each other. And now, whether you believe in one side or the other, I don't care.
Exactly.
What they're both saying is bad, and people are flocking to one side or the other, and it's caused a rift like we've not seen in a very long time in our country.
And that's part of the problem too.
I'm not saying there's one problem. I'm saying there's a slew of problems.
People fight.
No, you're right. There's not more than one problem, but I mean that is one of the problems. Go ahead.
Let me pull it back here. But like people fight over religion, which like I will never fully understand that. Like there's wars over religion when God wanted peace, right? But people will fight over it. Like that's what I don't understand.
That they find, if it wasn't that, they'd find some other reason.
Exactly.
If all they need is a good reason, and it's like, let's go.
Well, when it comes to something like religion, I don't want to get.
Let's go kill everybody.
No, I'm not.
I don't want to get too far into this, but when it comes to stuff like that,
I'm not getting into religion because I know
you're fighting over interpretations.
Right. Exactly. But I mean,
over interpretations.
See, now Tilgar says God did not want peace.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to reel you guys in. I'm gonna have to reel you guys back in. He's trolling you. Walmart asked employees to remove violent video game signage.
See, like you can't do that. Like, dude, as America,
Walmart
we have
is censoring. They're censoring in a way that they're not showing the signage, but they're not doing that for movies. They're not doing that for.
I know violent movies. They just
exactly.
I mean, there was.
Oh, they are doing it for movies. Okay.
What about The Purge? What about The Purge, man? That movie is strictly about murder and rape and pillage.
Combating third-person shooter video games and permits those kinds of
how many Batman fans
movies
who are actually fans of the Joker, really more so than Batman.
So they are cracking down on if. Does this mean gun displays and sporting goods are also going away, and this is just nonsense? No.
Dick's already stopped selling AR-15 rifles.
Call of Duty and Borderlands kills people
years ago.
What? Another one replied sarcastically, no, because guns don't kill people. God of War, Call of Duty, and Borderlands kill people.
Guns are only a tool used to kill people, but you can use a knife to kill somebody. You could use a hammer to kill somebody.
I agree.
You could use your car to kill somebody.
I agree.
You could use your fist to kill somebody if you hit them hard enough with it. You know,
I mean guns just kind of like make it easier, but at the same time.
Well, you never hear of mass stabbings or mass running over people
because somebody couldn't do that. Like you'd have to go up close. Yeah, you can't pull an Assassin's Creed and just like crouch in a bush and then just be like, okay, it's going down. Like, I mean, you can't do that.
Like, but bring you back on topic. What do you guys think about Walmart? Probably the biggest brick and mortar store that's still around.
Some
censoring.
Corporation trying to virtue signal or something.
Guess what, boys? I'm going to Target.
We're such a good corporation. We care and stuff. We don't want. We're gonna. Oh, my video game's so bad. Ah.
I mean, Come on. Like somebody cuts himself while cutting a steak. You can't blame the knife. You blame the fucking person. I mean,
you can't blame something that doesn't have its own mind, Golden Knight. A gun doesn't have a brain. It can't do anything on its own. It has to be used by something, just like any other tool. You can't give a hammer credit for that nail going into the wall. It was the person that used the hammer to put the nail into the wall.
But somebody gave that idiot access to the tool too. I mean, there's so many problems here.
Yeah,
somebody
but
gave the guy the hammer.
But here's the thing: like anybody, Stan, anybody can snap at any moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I stabbed people with pencils by accident when I was in school without it because I got so enraged I forgot I had a pencil.
Tech, you admitted an hour ago that you threw cats. You're a sick individual. We should strip you of all your.
I haven't thrown a cat in a long time. They haven't done anything that pissed me off that bad.
Guys, I think we went over
the last few months
on the game cast. We got into some heavy topics this time around.
But I blame the politicians more than anybody about all that.
Well, if this was normal game news, but I told you, Stan, I told you the third topic was going to get me triggered.
Yeah, so. I know. But, you know.
I didn't even know we were going to talk about it.
At least we're having.
I forgot about it.
At least we're having the conversation, though. And
exactly.
And that's important.
And you know what? It's still going, and nobody's awkwardly sitting there like this.
Right.
I mean, it's a big deal.
Because they might ban me.
Because, I mean, it is a big deal. Like, politicians will find anything to blame, but the person behind the trigger. And, I mean, I understand it, whatever. They're trying to look good, whatever they're trying to do, they're going to try to blame anything else, video games, guns, how to obtain a firearm, which is just a background check.
A gun is a tool.
You know, I mean, it is what it is.
For good, it could be used for bad. You can use a gun to protect people. You can use a gun to hurt people. You can.
So, I mean, if you're going
to do good things, you can use.
I will tell you right now, if you're going to ban weapons from the citizens of the United States, then you're going to ban them from the police. You're going to ban them from the military because you know what? That's fair is fair. Just ban them all together.
Yeah, I don't think the government should have access to it if we don't have access to it, because then that makes us.
This is the whole Revolutionary War all over again.
Then we can easily become victims of those in authority with weapons
that dog though.
Resist, you know?
Yeah, my German Shepherd, man. He's
like, I think I agree with that. If he's like, shut the hell up. Take away the weapons from everybody all across the board, then okay. Yeah, yep. I'd support that. I don't own any guns. I mean, I've never owned a gun. I don't know if I ever will, but I definitely support the Second Amendment. I support other people's right to do it.
I own a lot.
We're good. The zombie apocalypse happens. We're going to Bud.
Everybody come to BudLit's house, man.
Let me reel you guys in. The main thing that we're saying is that video games aren't the problem. There are other problems out there that probably need that
there's underlying issues.
If they want to really address and set policies, they need to be not looking for a scapegoat, but actually try to tackle the situation. And I'm not saying that any of us are smart enough to do that, but perhaps, you know, instead of blaming the scapegoat, like I said, try to tackle the situation head on.
But Tilgar comes up with another good point. He's like, we are a gun culture, and that means we're always going to have mass shootings. I mean, there's always going to be a bad person. There's always going to be a bad person with the gun. For every 9 good people, there's always going to be that one bad person. You know, whatever the ratio may be.
But do we always want to ruin things for the good people because of the few bad people?
Exactly.
I always hate it, like at work, when it's like, oh, something's good. You know, you got like, hey, this is great. Oh, guess what? Somebody screwed it up. So now nobody can do it because one person screwed it up.
Exactly.
It's okay. Well, breaks are fair. Punish him, not us.
Exactly. Like nobody can take breaks because that guy was smoking a cigarette for 15 minutes. Like, I mean, it's all about fairness at that point.
Right. Like, you know, it's like, that's not fair to punish other people, innocent people, for something a guilty person did.
And with that being said, guys, I do want to say that if you do have a depression or a suicidal problem or something that it just doesn't feel right, you're angry and you're going to lash out at somebody, reach out to a therapist or talk to somebody, go to BetterHelp.com. Just try it out, guys, and just make sure you're getting the help that you guys need. We're going to end the podcast, the gaming podcast, there. When we come back, Mr. Bud is going to host us in the Friends Cast. Thanks, guys. We'll be right back.